The Basin Production Outlook is an interactive dashboard on East Daly's Energy Data Studio that displays our most recent forecast for crude, gross gas, and residue gas for the major producing regions in the U.S., including the Permian, Arklatex, Northeast, Eagle Ford, Anadarko, Williston, DJ, Powder River, Barnett, and the Rockies gas basins. We update our basin production forecasts in this dashboard every month around the middle of the month. This dashboard can be filtered by both region and subregion to bring into view the exact basin you're looking to analyze. The filters can also be set to all, which will give an almost complete view of total U.S. production, less PADD 5, Gulf of Mexico, and smaller producing areas like those found in Michigan and Alabama, for example. To walk through this dashboard, we will set the filter to the Permian. The subregion filter could be used to drill down into the Delaware or Midland, but we will leave it set at all for this example. The overview table shows the production volumes for crude, gross gas, and residue gas for the region and subregion selected. By default, the table shows annual average production for the previous, current, and following year, but can also be quickly changed to the yearly exit volumes using the dropdown. The amount of growth for the current and following year can also be quickly seen by changing the vol or delta parameter to growth. So, based on our current filtering, we forecast the Permian to grow 560,000 barrels per day from year-end 22 to year-end 23, and grow another 270,000 barrels per day from year-end 23 to year-end 24. The tooltips in the overview table also provide the percentage change over the previous year based on whether the annual average or exit is selected. The top middle graph shows commodity prices, particularly WTI and Henry Hub, which drive the rig count assumptions in the underlying models. The yellow line represents the price at the time of the forecast, and the latest prices are shown in purple. This will help you determine if prices have moved drastically since the latest production forecast has been published, and if you can expect a large change in outlook when the next month's forecast is published. The top right graph displays the historical and forecasted rig count used in the underlying production models, with a dotted vertical line to help you quickly determine the current month. This view can be filtered down further into subregion to see the split out of rigs in the Delaware versus Midland, for this instance in the Permian. Moving to the bottom left of the dashboard, two area graphs show historical and forecast production for crude and gross gas, with crude being on top and gross gas on the bottom. The parameter dropdown allows you to see the subregion breakout of the region you have selected. You can also click anywhere on the graph to filter for the subregion you want. For example, if I want to look only at the Delaware, I can click in the orange, and the overview table, rig counts, and two production volume graphs filter for that subregion. Clicking anywhere outside the area graph, I can then see the entire Permian again. You will notice the bottom graph also has a dark blue line showing the aggregated residue pipe sample for the region and subregion combination you have filtered. This is also commonly referred to as the flow sample. This can act as a key indicator on where current production is at. In the Permian, a lot of the produced gas is delivered into intrastate pipelines rather than to interstate pipelines where we have access to the flow data. This is apparent by the blue line being so far below the top area of the graph. If I go to another region, for example, Appalachia, you will notice a much higher percentage and correlation between the residue pipe sample and production. Lastly, the maps in the bottom right corner of the dashboard allow you to quickly see how the basin's production compare to each other, with the crude map on top and the gas map on the bottom. You can manually cycle through the annual averages using the controls on top, or play it forward using the controls on the slider. The underlying data can be accessed by clicking on the region data or subregion tabs. After using this tab, you can pull down historical and forecasted production volumes for crude oil, gross gas, and residue gas. You also get the residue pipe sample and rig counts when the data is downloaded. To download the data for use in your company's workflow, exit the full screen view. Click the download icon in the top right corner of the screen. Select data. From here, you can hit download again. It'll export the data into a flat file via Excel.